If your conscious core essence or your personality sun is in the 14, we have possession in great measure and power skills. So one of the images used from the ancient traditional I Ching is that the 14 is the wagon. It is all about wealth and the accumulation of wealth. So if you're born with the 14, it is like being born with an inheritance. You are given an abundance of energy and the kind of energy that should be able to fulfill you at the material level. So when we walk through the 14, the very first line is actually money isn't everything, because money's actually guaranteed for this particular incarnation cross. So the material possessions in life are at their richest when dealing with the 14th gate. So that energy of the 14th gate actually provides us with a fuel to fuel a direction in life, because the 14 is looking towards the 2. And that 14, now we're looking at the fourth variation of Contagion. It really is providing a fuel for direction. So when we saw the 29, the 29 underneath of this is saying, yes, I'll give you fuel for direction. Yes, I'll give you fuel for direction. But there's only one thing that is so important, is that you can't give that fuel away. It is the 14. It's individual, because people will just take it. And the important piece is with the sun in the 14, there are all kinds of people in your lives constantly trying to get you to commit, make a promise, and provide the energy that will benefit everybody and benefit everybody else's wealth. So understand something as well, is that as we walk through this, in the 30.4 that's underneath this, we have burnout. So if you're just giving away your energy, there can be a ginormous amount of burnout. There's blind commitment to things. If there's blind commitment, that creates a burnout. So it's important to know, what are you committing to, using your strategy and inner authority, so that you know what experiences you should be committing to, what people you should be committing to, what careers you should be committing to, and leave behind anything that isn't correct for you. Because what happens is, if you get to that place of burnout and you leave, then all of a sudden there's a sense of incompletedness. So with the sun in the 14th, the theme here is being focused on finding the right direction. These are the people that is what they are waiting for in life. They're really waiting for those moments to make the commitment to the right direction in life, and then really trust that the fates will allow for that movement forward, as long as we get out of our own way. So with the right direction comes the right fuel, and that means it's going to bring success in their lives. So being able to understand that the 14 really has a lot of power. So one of the stories that Ra talks about is that in the 1990s, when Pluto was in the 14th gate, connected up his second gate, that's what really brought him a ginormous amount of wealth and opportunity to get the human design system out into the world, because of that ability to utilize that 14 correctly. So people carrying the cross of contagion bring other people together and amass their energy for direction. For example, they can get people to invest their resources, and that is quite something. They also can get other people to make commitments. By the way, as a right angle, the way in which you do that is that those things fall into their lives. Possibilities jump into their lives. because this is right angle. You're just living it. So it is not like you're going out looking for it. You are so self-absorbed in your own material process and your own material needs that things just pop up in your life. So with the 14 in your profile, if you don't pay attention to your own security, have money in the bank, or have something reliable that you can feel good about financially, it's going to be very, very stressful and unstable. So assuring your own security is primary. It's so important because it will destabilize you from the correct direction. And that's really what this whole program is about. Purpose-driven wealth formula. So we're looking at the wealth aspect. So if this is you and you are on this particular right angle cross of contagion, the fourth variation that brings transformation and mutation to us, putting even $1 aside out of every paycheck is so important. Having that wealth and having that security is so important. And then being able to teach other people about materialism, about wealth, and about direction, and about their own creative self-expression, and using that creative self-expression to amass a great amount of wealth. That's really what you're going to end up doing in this lifetime, so that they can fulfill their own experiences and fulfill their own love for their own body. So when we take a look at the juxtaposition cross of empowerment or empowering, here, this is a place that instead of having the 29 and the 30 underneath, now we have the 59 and the 55. And what will happen here is it's all about the contributing, that wealth contributing to the intimacy and the spirit of oneself. So we come here to no longer having contagion being about committing to a particular direction or committing to desires. This is a place where we need sexual intimacy and romance. This is a totally different design underneath. So when we're looking at this energy, what you want to do is to make sure that your fixedness on this cross is about recognizing that intimacy and individuation is so important to you. And to be fixed on really walking the talk and talking the walk, because that empowering aspect will show up out of you. That's the most important piece. Empowering is self-empowering, and then empowering is the demonstration of that empowerment so that other people can feel empowered on the material plane, on their own self-expression, through their own intimacy, through their own provocation of spirit. So if you don't have the wealth, what will be deeply, deeply insecure is the depression, of spirit will happen here. So you want to be able to recognize that the wealth aspect of who and what you are, and that security aspect really is empowering to you. So again, make sure that there is some kind of savings account. So how do we get there? How do you do that? And that really is about taking on the correct provocation, taking on the correct intimate activities, so that the direction and the self-expression that you're empowering others to stand in is present. So learning all you can about wealth and teaching that to people, that's really empowering. So the left angle cross of uncertainty, what we have here is the second variation of this. So this second variation is really where this cross gets the quality that we can see much more clearly here through the 14 than we could through the 8. Through the 8, there was always this uncertainty about the nature of contribution. However, here, it is different. One of the themes here within the 14 is, hey, look, I can provide you with a security, so you don't have to deal with the insecurity of the world. And it is very sexual. It can feel very sensual, very seductive here. So I can give you a home, shelter, lots of food. I can find you a job. I can help you find whatever you need. That's really what this uncertainty does. It helps other people with their uncertainty. So the 14th gate takes advantage of the fact that uncertainty is everywhere. In taking advantage of that uncertainty, it is able to then make its contribution by presenting its resources as a way of providing security for others. By the way, if they don't have the resources, so if this is you and you don't have the resources, this becomes your deep uncertainty. Hence the reason that possibly you're here. What's important is relationships here. That uncertainty can be brought into a place where we can take advantage of the uncertainty based off of the relationships with others. Remember, we have the 59 here. It's about intimacy. And the transformation that is taking place is the transformation of wealth. We're in the 4th quarter. Now, everybody should and can have wealth on this planet because it is written right into the design. So the underlying theme that's happening in this particular incarnation cross is that intimacy can be achieved through providing security. The vast majority of marriages or relationships that have problems are because of the material success. So at a mundane level, when you look out at the world around us, that is where, most people end up breaking up, having major relationship problems, having business problems. This is where partnerships collapse because everybody's caught up on the material plane and they don't have enough necessary resources. So what I see here in this left angle cross of uncertainty, I see this consultant that comes in and is able to really do financial planning. Actually, I see that with all 3 of these, to help people with their karma. So, the right angle cross, that financial planning aspect of it is more about you being it, you demonstrating it, you being it, you're in this role, you're doing what you love, loving what you do, and then you help other people. But with the uncertainty, it really is really pinpointing those people that are in those uncertain spaces and then helping them out of that and empowering them to stand in their own wealth, because we all have our own wealth to stand in. So let's coach around this. Let's have a chat about it, see where you are, see how this 14 shows up for you. It's a part of my design, and I have the 8 in the 14, the 29 in the sun. So I have the other version of Contagion variation, and money's never, ever, ever provided me with any kind of issue. So I would love to have a conversation around this 14 with you.